They're on time.
Good.
All right. Thanks, Ben. Just previewing this bit of an extended road trip here, LAFC League match, and then going to Phoenix for the U.S. Open Cup match. Just your thoughts on the preparation for this upcoming trip.
Yeah, we'll be out in the West Coast for a little bit here. Obviously, all focus and energy is towards the preparation for LAFC. But yes, there's the month of May is a serious one, and there's a bunch of games in the league, and hopefully we can have success in the Open Cup. But yeah, as I said, everything from a prep standpoint has been about how to solve the riddle of LAFC. They're again, physical, athletic, quality all over the field, weapons, out wide. So it's a very experienced team, and we're going to have to be at our best to get something out of this game. It's one I think the guys would look forward to. Always playing one of the best teams in the league. Our guys usually have the right mentality and are up for the challenge.
All right, thanks for that. We'll start with Dustin. Go ahead.
Hey, Ben.
Hey, Dustin.
Hey, played these guys recently here in Houston, beating them. How much of an advantage is that for you guys, seeing them again so quickly?
0. If you look at the team we played from a starting standpoint and the group they brought in there in the last 25 minutes, I think you could see they brought in some serious quality. That's the team we'll be facing. No disrespect for the group that they showed us, but they're rested. They don't have CONCACAF. They don't have any extra games right now. They'll be rested all week, and they'll give us their best shot, which is going to be a good shot. And we got to be ready for so many things. But again, it's a great challenge for us in this moment. We're still growing. We're still kind of figuring out the best version of ourselves, and we're incorporating some new guys. So as I said, it's a challenging game, but I think one our players are looking forward to, and we've been able to grab something in the past here. How relevant is that? Not really. We have a new team, and I think as I said, we'll get their best shot.
And just wanted to ask you about Steve Cherundolo. Announced that he's leaving at the end of the season. You guys have had some battles with them since your time here in Houston. Another guy like yourself that's been through U.S. soccer, the circles. Just how has Steve been as a coach for that team, and how he's kind of raised them to where they are now?
I think he's one part of it, and a big part of the culture that they built there, and it's a culture of winning. I think they right away when they hit the league, they decided they were going to be one of the best clubs that the league has ever seen, and they're able to do that both from an infrastructure standpoint, player-wise. Obviously, staffing. Steve's done a very, very good job. He certainly can walk away proud of his time here in the MLS, and consider my friend. And I know he'll do some great things in Europe and continue to be an excellent coach.
Thanks, Ben.
Diego, go ahead.
Hey, man. Just a quick question about, you mentioned that LAFC is going to be rested now that they don't have CONCACAF, but you guys are adding another slate of matches with the U.S. Open Cup. Can you talk to me a little bit about how that's going to affect you guys on a game management level and on a managing personnel?
Well, it has 0 to do with the LAFC game. And then we'll focus. Of course, you're looking ahead from a staff standpoint and figuring some of that out. But again, all focus is on this LAFC game. And then we'll turn our focus to Phoenix, and then we'll turn our focus to Seattle. That's just how these go. I think the Open Cup needs to kind of figure itself out a little bit with the more I hear about this, the more we have to go away for the first 2, and that's without even a drafting system here. So it was just automatically that we're going to host or be away for those 2 games. I don't understand that part. I know it has to do with the League Cup. Leagues Cup and us being there, but to me, there's completely two separate tournaments. Guys know, I guess me and the club, we really value the Open Cup, and we think it's a great opportunity to hold a trophy, and we've been able to do that in the last few years, and that the club has done that a few times in the past. So it's an important tournament. We'll give our best shot for that and go after it just like we will the Leagues Cup and certainly every game. But as far as managing minutes, nothing is concerned. We don't concern ourselves with the LAFC game. And what I like about May is that it's a lot of games, but we're able to see a lot of guys within that, and we're as much as it's about results, it's also about evaluating and also incorporating some of our new guys. So in some of these games, if we can get a look at some guys that are new to our group or haven't gotten a lot of minutes, so they can prove that they're in good form and can help us out with in the league games, let's go.
And this time you guys face LAFC at their house. Can you talk to me a little bit about just the feeling of playing at a BMO? We've talked a little bit about how playing in away stadiums provides a little bit of a challenge, but can you talk to me a little bit about your experiences working and managing at that stadium?
It's no different than any of the other great stadiums that and great environments that this league offers. It's great. You gotta use it. You gotta let it fuel you and embrace it. It's again, there's nothing like getting something out of road on the road, and it's just again opportunity. I think these guys are seasoned enough that they understand the energy and that comes along with that building, and most away buildings that pack it and give good energy. But it's a great place. It's a great venue. It's a wonderful stadium. So looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Armand, go ahead.
Hey, man, we spoke about the previous match with LAFC, but I'm curious. We know the theme early on the season has been the team still in construction. I want you to reflect in the past month. It was a good April for the Dynamo, and that LAFC game kind of served as the spark plug. How much has your team changed in this 1 month, Just your reflection.
Sure. I think we've leveled off is the term we're using. We've kind of steadied the ship for the moment, but this league it's fast and furious, and you got to just keep growing and trying to get results as we still figure ourselves out. But we're under no illusions of who we are right now, in that we I think we have a pretty clear idea of what makes us at our best and some things that we need to avoid. But we've got a long way to go. As I said, this is kind of, rounding out this first portion of the year, and from now till the summer, it's about incorporating new guys and still, putting that on top of a group that is starting to have a better identity, a better picture of who we are.
And we saw a lot of activity at the end of last week and early this week. Felix Pianchenko, one of the cornerstones in your time here at the Dynamo, signed an extension. Just want to hear your thoughts on the extension, and Eric.
Eric's done a great job. From the second he got here, we became a better defensive team. It's not me just saying that. It's data will back you up on that. And he's also has leadership qualities and has given us a lot of experience in the back line and that on the field, but also off the field in the locker room. And he's a very good guy for the culture here as well.
Thank you, man. Safe travels.
All right, thanks.
Jorge, go ahead.
Good morning, Coach.
Hi, Jorge.
Coach, just wanted to ask you about how you plan on implementing the new guys, right? What the status was on Toyosi. We see that Pablo Ortiz is here in Houston, and just doing Holmes as well.
As far as incorporating them, Jorge, I said it's crash course of giving them kind of a download of the game model and what we do on set pieces and a lot of the smaller details of what we do. It's a lot. It's a lot of information to catch them up on, but it's also, they just need to get out there at times. It's not going to be perfect. And with a lot of games coming up, it allows us an opportunity to see them because we can't play 13, 14 guys every game. We're going to have to mix it up, and they're going to be a part of that. And that's the quickest, best way is to just, throw them to the wolves.
And I just wanted to ask on the status on Teosi's and Pablo Ortiz's visas.
Yeah, Tosi.
Yeah, Pablo's ready to roll. And Teosi does not have his yet, but he's working on it.
Thank you, Coach. Best of luck tomorrow.
All right, Jesus, go ahead.
Hi, Ben. Last week I asked a question about you, your coaches, how much you guys talk about lineup. I kind of wanted to follow up on that, but just kind of ask, now at this stage in your career, how much joy do you still find you and your coaches, playing with the lineup, playing with the players, positioning, like finding new ways to make this team better? How much joy do you guys still get from that? I know that it's a serious game, right? But is there still that joy that you find in these coaching things?
Jesus, your questions have been great. I don't.
Thank you.
We should find more joy in it. Yes, in general, we should find more joy in our job. But it is, figuring out lineups and pushing each other in the kind of the coach's locker room about tactics and are we clear enough and are we good enough to do this or are we underselling them in this moment or can we it's that dialogue is it's super healthy and I said last week we have Josh Wolf in there now, Juan Guara, who's been a head coach for Phoenix. Kenny Bundy has a whole wealth of experience, and in particular, sometimes with young kids and bringing them up. Tim Hanley, Aurelian Collin, who has his own experiences as a defender. We have a lot of personality in our coaching room, and I like that. And I've always talked about having guys that complement me, and I certainly have a lot of deficiencies, so always trying to hide those with really smart people around me. And we have it can spill over. I think sometimes it is emotional, but joy, it's not the first thing that comes into mind, Jesus, but it should be. It should be because we're very lucky to. It's a good group of men, and I think we challenge each other enough. And it's a similar time that I feel when I first came here for the first probably 4 months, where we were tinkering and figuring this out, our new identity, with giving up a lot of players down our spine and incorporating new players, and what do those profiles add to our group, and what can we tweak? How are we staying true to ourselves and what we want to do, but tweaking some things because we have new players and they have different qualities. So there's been some joy. It's been fun at times, and very, very challenging, which has been healthy.
And my final question, Linger has come in and made an instant impact. Obviously, you guys, saw him play overseas, saw him in training. But once you actually saw him in games, what's one thing that surprised you about what he can do on the field?
Sometimes you are, Jesus. Sometimes you are surprised that this player has this that you didn't know about. He's one of those where he's exactly what we thought he was going to be, and that's a nice thing, right? Because you usually bring them for because they check a bunch of boxes for you for your group, and that's what you want. So sometimes I've been underwhelmed, and sometimes you've been overwhelmed by players, and he's just what we ordered, so to speak.
Perfect. Thanks so much.
All right, Joey, we'll wrap it up with you. Go ahead.
Hey, Ben. Michael Holiday is one of these new guys that's come in and hasn't really seen the field at all. Is he one of those players you're looking at rotating in over the next coming weeks in a lot of games? What does he need to show to earn some more minutes?
We're watching. Nobody's out of sight. I mean, we train a lot. We got a lot of training days, and we're evaluating these every day. So he's done okay. He's gotten a D2 game, and he played a little bit. He got the El Salvador game, so he's coming along, and we'll see. We'll see how the LAFC game goes. We're extremely focused on that. Then we have to take the temperature the next day of who's ready to go again, and which guys are that we have to kind of figure out a lineup. But you have to go through the LAFC game to get into the next one. But a guy that he's a like for Griffin. So we'll see.
And Sebastian Bolshik starts for every game this year, and then with Lingard coming in, he was the one that hit the bench back. What's his reaction been to having stood out, and does he welcome this competition?
Yeah, I think so. Nobody's happy to be pulled out of the starting lineup, especially he's done a pretty good job this year. So nobody's thrilled about that, and I'd be worried if they were thrilled. He's a warrior, and he wants to be on the field. So his job is to come in and make an impact like he did the last game, and make my life hard. And every day he's a guy I'm not worried about as far as showing up every day and giving you everything and competing for that spot. He's done a good job. He's been there before, and he's a guy we can rely on off the bench or start.